Simplicity here. I really wanted to come out and play with this energy. I'm picking up a need to dive into fairy a bit. So if that ain't your thing, I understand. It's cool. I dig it, but I want to play. And so I thought I'd do a reading for you all, tapping into the energy that's being kicked off with this Cancer full moon that will be coming in later today at 2:26 p.m. If you are on the West Coast in the States, and 5:26 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. And it's in the sign of Cancer. So we got that water energy coming in. So a lot of people are in their fields. A lot of people are starting to feel a new layer of sensitivity coming in now. I just learned that, somehow I time hopped or something. I thought we had a number of months to go before Aries North Node and Libra South Node shifted to Pisces North Node and Virgo South Node, but no, apparently that alignment came on the 11th. So I'm feeling quite relieved about that energy, I have to say. Nice to be out of that cardinal energy. So we're entering mutability here, all right? It's a whole different flow coming in with this Cancer full moon. And really, this lunar cycle ties all the way back to the Sagittarius new moon that came in on December 1st. And then we arrived at the black moon, the new moon that came in the sign of Capricorn. And I believe that happened on the 30th. And yes, now we're arriving close to that time of another very important initiatory gateway, the waterway. The waterway is coming in here, and the waterway is sort of an energy signature of preparing oneself to have everything sort of like washed anew. It's got the energy of not only release, but like a pouring over, like a blessing kind of energy coming in with it. It's actually really beautiful. There's a very dreamy quality to the energy, a very Neptunian quality to the energy. And certainly one could take that to an imbalanced place where they could be a little enamored by nostalgia and entering places of melancholy, or just sort of looking at distorted reflections through the filter of the past. But there really is an opportunity here to return to a state of purity. It's the only thing I really know how to call it. Or you could say another word for purity is just, something that's not convoluted or complicated or difficult to decipher or understand. It's simplicity. There's a reason why I go by that name when I'm traveling in ferry. There's so much in just simplicity. And I feel like we're stripping away a lot that has been kind of making things complicated for human beings for a long time. And we're getting back down to simple things that are more pure. We're tired of what's been corrupted. And I do feel there's this energy of a new vision coming through for the collective and leading them forward. This is a new pathway opening up. It is the wolf moon. Wolf is Pisces on the medicine wheel, so it's very fitting for that alignment to come in. I love the synergy of it for the North Node shift into Pisces, just as the path opens with Pathfinder medicine coming in with that wolf moon. So I do feel like we're getting our coordinates. It's something that's really starting to wake up inside of us, and that in and of itself can be a moving experience. especially when you're heading in a different direction than you thought initially you were going to go. And there is a lot that's unknown. There is a lot that's unknown. And I understand that that can cause sometimes for people to enter a space where they feel a lot of fear. But there's also another way of seeing it. If things are uncertain, it means that nothing's fixed and it can all become something different. And that requires a lot of dreaming, and it requires a lot of vision that in some cases people would say is real nonsensical or is a waste of time, that you should be thinking about more practical things when actually it's just the opposite right now. We need less practicality, we need more magic, we need more ridiculous optimism in the face of what's become totally absurd. There just needs to be more of a willingness to explore and not buy into this sort of programming that's fear-based, that keeps us from moving into that place of evolution. you know Big collective energy coming in. It's not really um, it's not really something that can be dissected right now, like the magnitude of the interconnection of life, of all of life. It's something that's really coming through quite strongly. So I wanted to dive into this. Let's pull some cards. Let's tap into it. Let's see what comes through. Yes, got the waterway coming through here with 2 of water, and it's bringing us into alignment with our path. There's something here about the quality of water that's a conduit. And so I do feel like the waterway is kind of like, it's almost like being poured through us. This is something that's happening on an energetic internal level. I'm not going to get into transits and like all that kind of stuff with this read. I just want to read the energy how I usually read it, when I'm just tapping into what I'm feeling through the atmosphere, and what I'm picking up there on the ether. And maybe you're picking up some of the same stuff as me. It's always interesting to talk to people and, listen to what they have coming in, what they're feeling, what they're tapping into. But this is how I'm reading the energy. It really feels like this is creating a new kind of flow within us. It's like having to learn how to flow with our thoughts in a new way, how to think of things in a new way, how to think of things that aren't sort of defined within the parameters of what we've been told is the way to go about things. Or we have to feel in new ways too, get in touch with our feeling in new ways. Often that comes in a period when we're moving into that Aquarian energy, where feeling really comes through art. It comes through the creative nature. So there's probably a lot that will come up in people that's calling them to create something on some level, something that can't be expressed with words. This is something else that's been coming through a lot too, a need to really learn a new way to communicate in ways that defy any kind of perceived boundaries that span across cultures, or any kind of program divides that have been put in place in the way we interact with each other. And a lot of times that comes through art, comes through creativity. It's usually art, creativity that is always at the beginning of a golden age. And it's just really interesting energy, but I feel like this alignment is happening within us. And what it's doing is it's bringing us into alignment with the teacher within, with our Atman, with our higher consciousness. It's got like avatar activation energy. You really do get to kind of start again. You can return to that place of purity any moment you decide that you're ready to do that. It's not complicated. You don't need absolution, you don't need to go and have it cleansed from you as if it's something impure. It's not. It's about cleansing away the ideas that have put that in place within our consciousness, that there's something that does need to be born anew. If you're really living in the moment, you're just responding to everything spontaneously. It's always new. You've been cleansed multiple times in nanoseconds. It's happening in every moment. You're always pure. In this moment, it's a moment of purity. You know, when we're in the moment, it's simple. You're just acting in relation to what's going down right here, right now. And this is kind of more the flow that's coming in. So you'll find like things that require neat, tidy borders become a lot more unappealing at this time and difficult to contend with. And the desire just isn't there. And yet, you know, day-to-day life has required that and will continue to require that, you know, for some time to come. But, you know, who knows? Who knows where things go from here? It's anybody's guess. The only thing I know is you can never step in the same river twice. It's always flowing. It's always moving. And so we're moving now, 11:22 on the clock, but it's a different kind of flow. But it's going to get us where we want to go. When I think of the river, I often think of Oshun because she is the Orisha of the sweet waters. And the river is her, you know, so it's like this flow. It brings sweetness into our lives. It brings in the honey, you know, it brings in the sweetness, it brings in more of the sweet taste of life. If we let ourselves tap into that flow. There's only one way you can get into that flow, though. You have to create the space to just drop in and just feel it. You know? Drop some of the plants. It's nice. When you enter the water, it's nice. It's the same kind of mirroring energy as the cauldron of Dogden, you know? And that great swim to the distant shore. It's like the trepidation is like, should I enter that water? You know, should I enter that flow? What happens if I let myself kind of let go of some of this stuff a little bit? What happens if I start being a little bit more spontaneous? What happens if I start showing different sides of myself I've never let anybody see before? Well, what happens is you get flow, man. There's no more dams in the river. So let's see what else wants to come in here around this Pathfinder moon. You know, there's a path opening up. We're moving forward in a new way. We're moving forward in a way that endures. In a way that endures. Yes. It's the gift the water brings. It really does all happen in divine timing. It provides a mirror for us to see ourselves through. The more present you become, you really see the mirror in all that is around you. You see yourself in all that's around you. All your circumstances in life, all your relationships, everything you've created so far. And that's when you really get to play. That's when you get to play a little bit. That's when you can bring the glamour energy forward a little bit and go, well, let me play with this. Wow. So if I created all this around me, imagine what I could create if I decided I just like, in this moment, it's brand new. And now I'm this. And now here's where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna kind of like make it up as I go. And I know I'm gonna make it fun. And I know I'm gonna make it interesting. And when the rough bits come along, you know, I'll use them as sources of reflection. But yeah. See, it's a new vision that's awakening. It's a new way you're seeing yourself. And in a new way in seeing yourself, because you just let everything go. Just like, it's okay, just let it go. It's being washed away by that water energy coming in with the Cancer full moon. It would be a lovely night for a moon dance, for moon bathing with this Cancer full moon. It really would. It'd be like, it's got that energy. It's like that baptism energy. It's just being baptized in that lunar essence, you know? You think of Cancer energy, it's about home, it's about belonging, it's about the mother. And so it's really invoking those kind of qualities. If you do have an opportunity to gather some moon water, you may want to do that. It'd be a beautiful water to have on hand just to bring into, your own alchemical work you're doing throughout the year here. And we got 4 of firewood. I love this. See, so we're really getting what we need coming in here. Path is opening up for us. It's going to give us the fuel for our fire. It's going to give us what we need to bring our visions into life. It's actually going to give us an inspiration, an opportunity, a door, a possibility to enter into, that if we are willing to go with that flow and we allow ourselves to enter that gateway of initiation, it's something that will just feed the fire in us. It will feed our sense of purpose. It will feed our sense of passion. This isn't something we'll be dragging our heels to do. This is something that we'll feel inspired to do, motivated to do. This is a really good energy that's coming in here for us. Let me see if there's anything else that wants to come in relation to this, with this firewood. What's fueling our fire? What is going to fuel the fire? Ooh, what is this? Ooh, look at that. It's temperance energy. We got sister water, water family. Well, I'll tell you what's going to fuel our fire. Our fire is going to be fueled with that new moon that comes in Aquarius on January 29th. That's 11 energy. That's a big alignment point. That's where we arrive at the other side of this lunar cycle that's being kicked off with this Cancer full moon. This is when we really come into that place of alignment with our path. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways we can do this is through really putting ourselves in the center of it all. I mean this by connecting with the solar essence now. See, when we bring in this firewood energy, in order to have fuel, right, for the fire, you need to get the fire going, right? There has to be something that spurs that action on. And we're more tuning to kind of that lunar essence now. We've had that piece come in before about really balancing the lunar solar essence. And we were in a place where we needed more lunar essence, and that's going to get kind of capped off with this full moon. But then if we can shift our orientation a little bit to start feeding our sun. So there's something that's really coming in here during this cycle to pay attention to your native sun placement in your chart, so you can return to that place of simplicity, or that place of purity or clean slate, however you want to look at it, where you're in your truest essence, the essence you came into this world with. You may also want to see sort of how that energy has progressed. You might want to check out your progress chart. You might want to see, where's your sun now? It may have shifted. I'm a Libra sun native, but in my progress chart, I'm Sagittarius sun, right? So some of you may have found that you've been feeling a little different recently, especially some of you that, have been around a while. And it may be because your sun placement has shifted, your essence has shifted. So there's almost like it does have a vibe of sort of like you get a chance to begin again, maybe through a different lens too, There's something about really getting in touch with both, your native sun essence and your progressed sun essence. And this is the source of the fuel for your fire. So there's keys there in your chart to check out, right? There's motivating factors there. There's something that gives you a key about your path ahead and what that looks like. So you'll also want to pay attention, pay a lot of attention to that Sagittarian energy as well that kicked off this lunar cycle back on December 1st. It factors in here quite strongly, actually. It's what provided the fuel for the fire. The fire was waiting to be used. We don't have what we need, to really bring it in until we arrive at that Aquarius new moon. So do look where you have Sagittarius in your chart. Do you have any Sag placements? Do you have any placements in the ninth house? Check out that action. That's a key too for how you can really fuel your fire, move into greater expansion. It factors into the path ahead. All of this coming in quite strongly. This alignment will be clear. There's a lot that will come into view in relation to this. It kind of puts you in the center of your universe where you get to kind of pick and pull from what you're seeing happening around you, understanding that, oh, I'm generating this. Okay, maybe I'm going to pull this off. I don't need this there anymore. It's like, one of those food carousels going around you, and you're choosing, which spices you want to use and what ingredients you want to use and the recipe you're cooking up for this new energy you're entering into here. It's just a first course. Don't worry. You can change it anytime you want, but this is the kind of energy coming in. It's cool. It's cool. There's a new vision birthed here that's coming in. And it moves us into greater expansion in our personal lives. It's also happening on a greater level as well, of course. But it does light our fire. It does. It lights our fire. There's passion here. You see? Something's really lighting us up. And oh, it's so dreamy with that poppy energy. Poppies, yes. Poppies are some good medicine, man. I love working with poppy tincture. Poppies are quite nice, I have to say. It's very Neptunian. It's very charmed kind of energy. It's very courting kind of energy. Poppy will court you. The spirit of poppy will court you. It will hey. It's very Neptunian energy, good for dreaming. 22 on the clock. Poppy coming in as an ally to work with. California poppy tincture is wonderful. It's really good too for clearing out any last remnants of release work that you got to do. It kind of creates a real sort of safe space that allows you to do that deep journeying work. It's good for releasing trauma too. Just sending love to those out in California that are moving through the difficulty of the fire, all the trauma that comes with that stuff. So I'm hoping some water comes your way, man. Hoping a waterway opens up for you all there. But yes, this is a time of dreaming and passion and dreaming up the future and letting sort of those flights of fancy, or what some may say are a waste of time or are childish things, to sit and daydream. No, daydreaming is such a beautiful use of your time right now. It really is. It's really what's needed, actually. It's what's needed to turn things around. There's some alignment coming in here. Some of you may be coming into alignment with a very special soulmate, I have to say, too. Somebody that is part of sharing the road to the North Node with you, activating a bit of that Stone of Destiny action. Okay, let me see one more round of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and get us a plant ally for moving through this energy with. Let's see what we got here. Any more details? Did you see the way it landed on the edge there? It landed on the edge and I had to catch it. Look at this. No catching it. Just let it go. Let it flow effortlessly. Waterfall medicine. I like it. This is the flow. It's time to just kind of just completely give over. Give over to whatever's coming your way in the moment. This is the new flow. You can try to contain it, but you'll find it really challenging. The more you can just be present with it, you'll find that you're kind of directed in such a way that you come into alignment with sources of nourishment, sources that will fuel your fire and the way forward. And you'll start kind of reflecting on your life in a different way. You'll look at things around you in a different way. If you're paying attention, you're going to start really recognizing, like, oh, wait, I'm creating this. Okay, well, I kind of want to change this. I want to change that. And I'm not speaking of this in such a way where it's negating, very real experiences that happen that are out of the scope of our personal control of the way we're using our energy. Tragedies happen, things happen. But even in the face of challenges like that, the more you're able to be, present with it, the more that you're going to feel empowered and will be able to enter into the flow of the next step. And in fact, that's really key for moving through any kind of heavy, intense feelings, emotions. It's a key for moving through things with grace when you're in times of crisis or challenge, to just be present. You hear people say one day at a time. And when you're in a place of crisis, even that's overwhelming. It's like, no, one moment at a time. That's enough, that's enough. But that's that flow. That's that flow. But when we've, cleared out all the heavy stuff and we're in a place where we're just sort of waiting, we're waiting, and we're in that place of the bardo where we're waiting for the new life to begin. Well, here comes the birthing canal. Like, yeah, the way through is opening up here. And when we give ourselves over to it, it's like we just get carried there so quickly. It might be really surprising to people how much their life changes between now and March. So I've been picking up this energy quite a bit. All right, let's get us a plant ally and see what wants to come through. I love this deck so much. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Ooh, yes. Look, there is soulmate energy coming in here. Some of you may be coming into alignment with a real kismet connection. There's some new beginning here. It's coming in with 11. So with that Aquarius new moon, 27:33 on the clock. Wow. Yeah, you're sort of doing your solo journey right now. I feel like there's somebody that you're coming into alignment with. It's a soulmate, the beloved. There's magic weaving here. Look at that raven medicine. A little gift for rising above the south node. Here's the new beginning coming in. Ace of Cups energy. Again, very dreamy energy. Dreamy, seductive, luscious kind of energy with Damiana. I love Damiana. Ooh, sensory. It's just so sensory. That's what I love about Damiana. It makes you indulge the senses and really just experience them to their fullest capacity. There's something about it. It's luxurious. Damiana will court you. Beckon you, it's a real, like, kind of silky sort of energy. And I do feel like this is us, like, also aligning the places within us that have been polarized and entering that waterway within us where the two blend together, and that's a way through too. That's a way through too. Yes. It's what activates the action, though. So there's action spurred on by this alignment that's coming on. It's something that lights the fire, fuels the passions. So it's like that dynamic duo energy that's been coming in, right? We had that whole transit of Jupiter in Gemini. So that makes sense. That makes sense. There's something happening here. I do feel like it's the two sides of ourselves. I'm even seeing it as like left hemisphere, right hemisphere of the brain, sort of finding the middle way through. Well, the middle way through, that makes me think big, like pineal gland energy. Makes me think of the more kind of like visionary experience there's like a certain alchemy, a certain kind of like magic that's happening here. That's how it's coming through to me. Very cool energy. All right, let's get one. Let's get one. I haven't officially gotten one yet. Let's get one. I love doing readings like this where I just kind of meander. I miss doing readings like this. I need to do more readings like this. Readings like this really feed my soul. I just enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Quite a few things came out here. Look at this. These are kind of like off to the side. This makes me think of what's like kind of sort of falling back into the old timeline, and this is what's kind of moving us forward. It's got that vibe to me for some reason. So let me check this out. Yes, number 21, the world, something that was brought to a closure. There needed to be a transformation here. Pluto, Mars energy. So big like tower energy, something that caused radical transformation, shedding of skin, something that had to be transformed so there could be a new clarity of vision, a new course of action that came through, associated with the world on tarot. Fixed sign energy, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. Action. It's about taking action. It's interesting. So yeah, with the Aquarius new moon, whatever came down from the tower in the past, it's resulted sort of like in a new foundation being laid. And the point for action to build upon that new foundation is going to come in with that moon, that new moon in Aquarius on the 11th. So this is an interesting sort of in-between place we're entering here between the Cancer full moon and the Aquarian new moon. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not going to say that yet because this is where we're going, okay? I think this is the one that I'm going to read for us, just get more details on it. I like to, go in depth and dive into the book a little bit for certain cards. That one's really calling. This is a time of listening to our intuition. That's another kind of flow, right? It makes me think of another kind of waterway, Lagos, the rune Lagos. It's all about intuition. It is that water element. It is that birthing canal. That's Lagos. It's entering the energy signature of the flow. You might even want to work with that rune. Here, I'll draw it for you all. Those of you who aren't familiar with it, I do recommend that you check it out, though, if you want to work with it. Lagos. It represents the way through. It represents, you could even see it as, I've come to see Lagos as the place where the waters of transmutation and creation flow within the roots of the world tree and provide the way through. It's a different kind of stream. Lagos is very much working with the intuition and the feminine principle of the receptivity. It's like the way through is provided through an action that's taken, though. The action that's taken is in the transformation, the shedding of an old skin, the leaving behind of an old form. And when this is released, then one enters into this flow within themselves, the intuition. So you see the flow happens within the self first before it finds its companion in the external, in the mirror, right? The change happens first within before the mirror starts showing the reflection. So the reflection of this inner result of transformation of alchemy is coming in the form of another, of a soulmate, a character entering the path. For some, it will be a romantic love connection. For others, it's somebody that you're going to birth something creatively together. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful vision. It brings about a change. But there's a lot of intuition at the forefront right now. I also feel like recently you made a choice or you're actively involved in this process right now. Your intuition informed you about taking a certain action in your life. And you're either actively involved in this change right now or you're about to make this change. And whatever this is, it's what takes you from the mud to the unfurling of the lotus. No mud, no lotus. But this is where you reach that balancing point and the way through with the solar and the lunar energies. You see the waterway that comes through as a result of that balance. It's beautiful. And from that, so much grows here, okay? Blue lotus. So any of these plant allies you may want to work with nettle. Nettle is really good for working with like cleansing out the liver, that's its action. So some of you decided to let go of like resentment energy or anger energy or grudge energy. You may be getting to the side of situations where that heat, that initial fire is dissipated, and so your emotions are coming more to the surface. You're in more of a reflective state. You're gaining spiritual understanding about the difficult experiences you went through, and you're integrating that. This understanding that unfolds, it's that gift of moving through that muck, moving through that mud. You get to the lotus. There's a certain kind of new awareness activated here. Again, it's like got big avatar, musing energy activated. It's the waterway. It pours into you first with an Ace of Cups. Okay, big change coming in here. Okay. And this is what it's leading to. I created that separation. Like this is in the process. It's going to start to flow out here as we head up to the Aquarius new moon. Well, look what we got here. We got number 30, Echinacea, destiny. And you see the circle's complete here. And something is being rooted here. And it looks like it's being rooted in that cauldron of Dagda. And now it can start to grow. And look at that sun. There's now a direct link between that sun and that moon. So I've been talking a little bit about this too. Sun moon synergy. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's sort of like the internal mirror for the external. I could see that. There's been something coming through about different soulmates coming onto our paths, different characters that are meant to join us where we share sun moon synergy. Like our sun sign is their moon sign or vice versa. And I think it has something to do with that. Like through those connections, we're able to see inner aspects or access inner aspects of ourselves that we weren't able to before. Like there's a lot of growth that come from those kind of connections. And there's a lot of those kind of partnering connections coming in. I feel like a lot of it is like to work together on something or, some kind of project or some kind of creative endeavor. In some cases, it's romantic, some cases it's to bring real deep spiritual understanding growth. Somebody shows you the teacher within you. It's that kind of energy. It's like the teacher awakening within, not looking for the teacher outside. But there can be connections that come in for us that reflect that to us, awaken that in us, that we can view as a teacher. And all of our experiences are teachers, really. Every interaction we have is teaching us something new. Okay, I'm going to read on this one to cap this off. And then this feels really like complete to me. It's beautiful energy there. Echinacea, I love this. This is the Herbal Astrology Oracle by Adriana Ayales. Look at poppies on the front there. Yes, don't forget the poppies, okay? Don't forget the poppies. They are a good medicine to work with, and they can be very beneficial, especially those of you who've been going through some heavy stuff. It can be beneficial to work with, but do consult, do consult your healthcare team, especially if you could have contraindications, or if there's opiate issues, you might want to be careful about working with tincture. Okay, number 30, echinacea, destiny. Echinacea gustifolia, echinacea purpurea, echinacea pallida. Okay, upright, wheel of change. So like that wheel of fortune energy. Reiro, the rune of the journey. The journey begins here, a full cycle. The journey comes in with the horse, with Reiro. Reiro is associated with the horse. So it comes in with power. It creates movement forward in our lives. This is the start of a new life cycle. It's the destiny coming in. Bigger vision. We've outgrown the old vision. We need a bigger vision. Fortune, fate, okay? Reversed, okay? So this is what can kind of like block our path as far as really moving into this full moon energy that's coming in the lunar cycle. It's opening up, leading to that Aquarius new moon on the 29th. Reversed, it's karma, clinging to control, unwelcome change, cycles of suffering. And it ends it with a change is due. Like, come on, man. When it's time to change, you got to rearrange, man. It may be awkward, but you got to do it. Astrological ruler, Jupiter and Pluto. Okay, so yeah, big Sagittarian energy and big Piscean energy is what we're kind of working with right now. And how to communicate new ways. We've got to remember with that Jupiter in Gemini. And we got Pluto action on the scene. And what's important here? How can we bring all of these together in a synergistic flow that allows us to move forward in a new way and move into that expansion? Okay, let's see. We got many Native people consider echinacea to be a protective spirit medicine, and some of the root is often included in medicine pouches worn around the hip or neck. The Navajo consider echinacea to be a life medicine, one of the 40 ceremonial plants used for specific healing rituals. On the Great Plains, echinacea washes and poultices are favored to dress wounds, staunch infection, as they provide pain relief for sore or torn muscles. The seeds and roots of the variety known as pale purple cornflower were popularly used in a decoction to cure colds and flus, reduce fevers, soothe burns and boils, and treat arthritis and rheumatism. Many native tribes also called it snake root, as it was used as an anti-venom for rattlesnake bites. In sweat lodge ceremonies, the roots were chewed to assist in purification and adaptation and to ease pain. The plant was strewn across hot coals to add to the steam and was said to help participants withstand the heat. The Omaha Native tribe would coat their hands in macerated echinacea root so that they could take hot food out of the boiling pots without being burned by the heat. To this day, echinacea is used prominently worldwide and proven effective in fighting infections and combating colds, flus, and upper respiratory infections. Echinacea primarily tackles the liver, the blood, and stimulation of the immune system, all of which falls under Jupiter's rulership. Jupiter herbs like echinacea have a powerful ability to prevent the damaging effects of stress on the organs, enabling deep protection on a multi-organ level. Guidance. The snake eating its tail, the Ouroboros, is the wheel of change, resembling the cycles of life and death. The sun and moon orbit and spin the wheel of change, representing our earthly domain. The echinacea sprouting in the center represents evolutionary consciousness, unbound by the confines of destiny. Like the wheel of fortune, this card may signal a twist of fate, a time when something in life shifts us and reorients us elsewhere. Echinacea has shown up in your cards today to remind you that the universe is always in motion and nothing is by accident. The key to see through the cycles of destiny is to remain centered and fluid, flowing with the course of life. The elusive judgments of good and bad only limits the vision of the great understanding. Step back and observe the great vision at play and be unbound by the passing influences. I dig it, man. I dig it. So yeah, maybe bring some echinacea in to work with as a guide. If you want to go deep into this, you can really study the plant. You can learn a lot about the spirit of the plant through studying the plant, working with it, bringing it in, in teas, working with it in tinctures, but also working with it in other ways. You can grow it. You can also use it as sort of a meditation point. Sometimes in meditations, I will call in like the spirit of the plant as a guide, and I'll journey with it. You can just sort of like grok it too. You can make essences as well that don't necessarily involve imbibing the plant. It just embraces sort of the essence of the spirit of the plant. That would be wonderful. Echinacea moon water, man. You could do an echinacea moon water and an echinacea solar water if you wanted. Or you could use that echinacea moon water to make a sun tea, bring some other elements in, other elements that are speaking to you. Just some different ways to think of kind of like grokking that medicine, working with that medicine. I'm seeing raindrops. Wonder if there's going to be like some real rainfall coming through. It's been snowing quite a bit out here, but I'm picking up some rain here. Rain's been coming in. So I certainly hope. I hope to get some rain in Southern California. That'd be really good right about now. So just consider working with this, study it too. If you're interested in just sort of weaving in some herbs, some roots, this kind of thing with any of your alchemy work too. Find out the metaphysical associations. Do your research. You'll be surprised when you start like tugging on those threads. A lot gets revealed to you. And it really is like this inner journey. You'll go down rabbit holes within yourself just in studying something like this. You'll be surprised what it brings through. So echinacea coming through, something to work with during this cycle. And yeah, it's really good. Maybe some poppies, some Damiana here and there. I think it's also talking about like bring in a little bit of that luxury too. You know what I mean? Bring in a little bit of that luxury in your self-care. Rub some cream on it. As Louisa Tiege says, rub some cream on it. It makes everything better, everything better. Just like really love up on yourself, love up on the people around you, and embrace the change because the change is coming. But I like the way we're entering it. We're not scrambling to get there, man. We know that we have to really lay a different foundation moving forward. So we're taking our time. We're going to do it right this time, collective, right? I'll see you on the other side of that moon.